If I look comfy, it's because I feel comfy, you know? Disclaimer, this was written before Japan got their second wave of Tachikaze support. This was written from the perspective of someone who has only access to the first wave as a global player. It is very well known that for a deck to be consistent at getting wins in 0, they have to be able to deal more than 1 damage a turn. Doesn't matter how much you draw, doesn't matter how much you plus. If you're not dealing that second damage, good luck. So I'm going to go back a fat minute to when Tachi first got revealed and people first got their glimpse at Dark Rex. It was the exact same Dark Rex as before, obviously as a draw 2 instead of a drive check, but people were excited. It was a way of dealing a second damage a turn, and it had a cool way with a Vanguard swing. It also had like that cool ability where you could like bind a unit from your hand, so that way you wouldn't have to like commit a body to the board. But oh no. Once the rest of the Tachi package got revealed, we quickly realized that this wasn't going to be a fun time. Now, let me walk you through like the mental process a Tachi player has to go through in order to make Tachi even slightly playable. So when you read Dark Rex's ability, it says that when your grade 3 Vanguard does not hit the opponent's Vanguard, you can then superior ride him. You will typically read this in the way of your opponent blocking with a PG. This also entails that activating a critical trigger will cause the opponent's PG to activate earlier, allowing you to get this ability off earlier. So this immediately attracts us to wanting to play a 9 crit deck. Wanting to play 9 crits, this attracted me to want to try out Dino Chaos. Dino Chaos has the ability that you can retire 2 of your rearguards and then superior ride him. Since he is a grade 3, this means that you get an additional drive check because of him. So playing 9 crit makes it so you can have this very aggressive play style. With Dino Chaos now in the deck, that means we now have 2 grade 3s that we really want to get to our hand. So I was initially looking at Baby Taro as a starter. This would allow us to get earlier access to Dino Chaos or Dark Rex, depending on what we were missing. What ended up actually happening was you would swing, eat up all your rear guards, so then when you would try to go for a Dino Chaos turn, you wouldn't have any rear guards on the board to be able to even activate Dark Rex, let alone pressure them, and you would even have to swing your Vanguard at their rear guards just to deal some form of pressure, which the deck doesn't have any like consistent way of plussing. So once you were retiring all of these rear guards and not playing any draws, which means by the time you go for a Dark Rex turn, you have eaten up all of your resources, so you actually have nothing to use for that play. This is when the topic of 9 draws came in. We would then try to make the deck a lot more of a grind fest. The goal here was just to get them to 5 damage by keeping up with their tempo with the draw triggers. So then once they are at 5, Dark Rex will be on again, which means we can now pressure them again with Dark Rex. The problem is, until the Dark Rex turn, you're just poking them. You have no way of dealing them any form of pressure now. And since every deck can have a better tempo game than us, it would be very rare that we'd even get them to 5 damage, let alone even activate Dark Rex to then capitalize on this. So then you start looking at like what's actually happening on the board on these plays that like nothing's happening. You'll notice that you actually have a lot of CB open, because when you actually look at the deck list, the only thing using up CB are the Bronchios. And since you're only activating like 1 Bronchio a turn, that means you have a lot of flexibility in our counterblast use. This is when the topic of using units like Blytops, Skyptero, fucking Dragon Egg, just as something to get some value off of our retiring and not have to use other form of resources. So after my previous Tachi video where I kind of talked about how to actually like build like a skeleton of the deck, a lot of people pointed out to me that I didn't even mention the Spino combo. See, Spino gives the deck multi-attacking, not Spino himself. Spino needs other units to do this. See, if you use Spino to retire a Brachio during the battle phase, Brachio will then call out another card. This means now you have another unit to either boost or attack with. See, the thing is, Brachios don't hit shit. The grade 2 Brachio is an 8k. The grade 3 Brachio is a 10k. And the grade 1 Brachio is just a 6k booster. So to have Spino work in this magical Christmas land, you will need a Dark Rex in hand, a Brachio, probably the grade 2, on front row rear guard, Spino on front row rear guard, Raptor on Vanguard, and then something behind your Brachio. You will use Dark Rex on your Brachio, giving him an 11k body. You will then swing this at a rear guard interceptor. because Brachio is so low, you probably need to do this. Spino then will swing at their other interceptor. Spino will then retire your Brachio, calling out the grade 3 Brachio. The grade 3, no kidding, don't you dare do it. The grade 3 Brachio, boosted, will then hit their Vanguard. You will then swing with your Raptor at their Vanguard. You can retire stuff if you need to, but try to keep the grade 3 Brachio there. Let's say they block it. Cool, now your Dark Rex triggers. Now you have to retire your grade 3 Brachio, another rearguard, and another rearguard. Doing this will then allow you to call out a grade 1 Brachio to put behind Dark Rex, because Dark Rex doesn't hit shit either because he's a 10k. Now with the Brachio behind him, he will be able to hit over 16, which if your opponent was at 11, now has the possibility of hitting if they didn't hit a damage trigger. So to actually have a Spino work like the god people say he is, you have to have like a 5-card combo just to get it to work. Even without Spino, having Dark Rex have some way of hitting is still a really hard thing to do. There'll be so many turns where you go to activate Dark Rex and then have no way of having a unit behind him to then swing at the Vanguard with. So you have to start playing some like really awkward cards. Like we even played like Sparksaurus, which is the 5k when it's retired, discard a card, and then call another one out. It kind of synergizes with Dark Rex because Dark Rex draws you 2 cards. This will allow you to then call them out essentially for free. But if this is the second swing at the Vanguard this turn, that means it still won't hit because it's only 15. Having to go big brain to build a monkey brain deck like robot dinosaurs doesn't make any sense. It should just be able to play itself and do what it does very well. And it doesn't. When you look at what Tachi can do as a clan, it's supposed to be able to retire well and then gain advantage off of that. In this advantage, it should be able to do really crazy stuff like drawing cards, retiring rearguards. But yet all we got was replacement effects, slight power gains, no form of crit power. It doesn't make any sense. Fucking Gigarex is a double rare. It gets plus 1k when something dies. Why did it get plus 1? It went from a 10k to an 11k. Why didn't Dark Rex become a 10k to 11k? It would make it so much more playable so that you don't have to then add another card combo just to make it hittable. I need to say thanks to my friendo Lieutenant Barbara, aka Sergeant Barbara, aka Cactus Jack. He's put a lot of hard work into playing Tachikaze, and he's put in a lot of playtesting so that technically I don't even have to. Since the release of Tachi, he has done nothing but climb with it. And even after having such frustrating losses, he still would like push through and find new ways of building the deck. And I'm like very proud of him as like a friend of his that also plays this fucked up game. Thanks to anyone, I guess, who brought up the Spino combo that I forgot to mention. It really does kind of help to know that you guys are like fact checking me. I still love Tachi. Like I think peeps who play it also understand like it is a very enjoyable deck. But damn, is it frustrating when like you do everything right. You do all the combos, you do all the crazy jumping through hoops, and then your opponent can still win just because they have better value than you. Like it's just all the Azels. All the Azels. Triple Rare now has worldwide free shipping because I have too many stickers and I basically want to give it away. If you have trouble accessing the site, just DM me on Twitter. I'll just send them to you. I never know how to end these. That's all I got.